The mustache. In the 1970s and 80s, it was one of the ultimate symbols of masculinity. It's what made guys like Burt Reynolds, Tom Selleck and Hulk Hogan into sex symbols and style icons. Then suddenly, what was hot was not. For 20 years, the Mo laid low. Now, a young Australian entrepreneur is bringing the noble mustache back.
These are our everyday heroes. We've got Ari over here, he's rocking a handlebar moustache. We've got Bubba, who's the modern business gentleman. We've got Jesse here from the Eagles of Death Metal, rocking a huge walrus moustache. We've got Porter, the casual gentleman. And then we've got Ben over there, the skater casual dude.
And this time, the hairy upper lip has a purpose: to save lives and revolutionise men's health. Meet Adam Garroni. He's the global CEO and co-founder of one of the most innovative and successful fundraising campaigns in the history of men's health. It's called Movember.
Movember is the month formerly known as November, where we challenge men across the world to grow a moustache and raise awareness and funds for men's health, primarily prostate cancer.
At Movember, we are about changing the face of men's health. The rules are simple. Start Movember 1st clean shaven. Then grow a mustache for the entire month of Movember. That means no beards and no goatees.
It's a clever idea, underpinned by slick marketing.
He said, hey, what's your name? She said, touch me. I'll show you everything there is to show.
Every man deserves to grow a little bit of luxury.
Go deep.
And it's working. In just 7 years, Movember has grown from humble roots to become the biggest funder of prostate cancer research in the world. It all started over some beers in a Melbourne backyard in 2003.
Morning, fellas.
Adam and his friends convinced 30 of their mates to grow a mustache in a month. The controversy it provoked, mostly amongst their bosses and girlfriends, got Adam thinking, why not turn Movember into a campaign to raise awareness about an issue?
Inspired by the women around us and all they'd done for their health and breast cancer, we just felt there was nothing for men's health.
So why did you choose prostate cancer?
We wanted something that was male specific. I was surprised to learn that as many men are diagnosed with prostate cancer and as many men die of that disease as women do breast cancer. And back in 2004, there was just such a huge gap, and there still is, between the level of awareness, the level of campaigns, and the level of funding that go toward the two diseases.
The following November, 450 guys signed up for Movember, and by getting friends to sponsor their mustaches, they raised $55,000.
That was the single biggest donation the Prostate Cancer Foundation in Australia had ever received.
And they received it gladly, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They started to take us a little bit more seriously and gave us more support.
The following year, Adam and his friends raised $1.2 million. And after that, Movember boomed, expanding into New Zealand, Great Britain, Canada, South Africa, and the US. Last year, just 7 years after Movember was conceived, 450,000 mustache growers raised $71 million in a single month. That is unbelievable.
It is. It's a phenomenal amount of money in such a short period of time, and it's a lot of guys raising a little bit of money, but when you combine that together, it's a huge force. And beyond the money, which we focus on a lot, obviously, but the level of awareness and engagement we're getting from these men, and these young men, into prostate cancer and into their health, to me that is far more important, because it's changing attitudes and behaviour right now.
Which in turn is saving lives.
Absolutely. We get emails all the time from guys saying, because I grew this moustache and I challenged my dad about his health and I asked him for a donation, he went and got his prostate cancer screening and was found to have prostate cancer, and has since had the operation and is now living well beyond prostate cancer. So that moustache in that person's life has totally changed his father's life and then, therefore the family's.
Movember channels the money it raises into 3 program areas: education and awareness, support for men going through prostate cancer, and research. And because Movember holds the purse strings, they require labs, universities, and even countries that wouldn't normally work together to share their closely guarded research if they want access to funding.
You know, we're not just going to feed the beast here. We want outcomes, and we want them quickly. And we're sort of breaking down those barriers. And you've got to collaborate, you've got to share, because we firmly believe by doing that, we'll accelerate outcomes.
According to top cancer scientists, Movember's collaboration policy has led to more research progress in the last 2 months than in the last 5 years. 25 different types of prostate cancer have been identified, and the mapping of the prostate cancer gene is now underway.
So that gives us now a framework, literally a map of the prostate cancer gene. And again, it's another little piece of the puzzle that's going to enable researchers to understand what the prostate cancer gene looks like and identify, transmitters or areas of that gene that they can target with specific drugs to stop it spreading and growing.
It's a major step forward, one that could help make a vaccine available within a decade. And it won't be too soon. According to the American Prostate Cancer Foundation, 1 in 6 men will be diagnosed with the disease.
It's allowed me to understand the disease a lot clearer.
67-year-old Roger Northam was one of them. He underwent a radical prostatectomy, but surgery wasn't enough. He had to endure 7 weeks of radiation therapy, and he's now hoping for the best.
The simple fact is you do need help, and I didn't think I did. I was in a fairly senior position all my life, a bit of a control freak, and all of a sudden I needed help, because it's a heck of a shock when you get a test, and I'd done that for several years and all was well, and all of a sudden we had some problems. And I went through everything you read in the booklets. Why me? I'm different, but no, you're not different. So the message out of this, fellas, is that have the PSA test, and if you've got to have the finger up your bum, take it like a man. It could save your life.
What has the response been like here in the States?
The US campaign has been a little bit slower to take up compared to, say, Canada or the UK or Australia.
So we've got to get these Americans to loosen up a little bit and not take themselves so seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Movember is about poking fun at yourself. It's about changing your appearance by growing a mustache. And once we get American men engaged in that and loving it, combined with the cause, we see more passionate Movros in the US than any other country in the world.
Since Movember began, mustache growers have raised over $178 million for the fight against prostate cancer. And the money is funding over 300 research projects around the world. How do you feel about all of this? This was a notion that you came up with over some beers with some of your mates, and all of a sudden, 7 years later, it's a global movement.
Since I've been involved with Movember, we're now surrounded by cancer and, sadly, people passing from that disease. And we know that there's a lot of work to be done, but it is ultimately the most rewarding thing I've done in my life is to do Movember and lead this organisation and our passionate team here, and know that every day that we're making a difference and saving and changing lives.
So what would you say to young blokes out there in their late 30s, early 40s?
I'd just encourage every guy out there to get involved with Movember. Head to Movember.com, sign up this Movember, grow a moustache and help us change the face of men's health.
If you've got it, watch it. If you don't, call your TV provider to get HDNet today.